Good afternoon, everyone, or good morning, wherever you might be. Love to get started, and thank you for having me today. Everywhere we're hearing the term digital transformation thrown around, but what does that really mean? In many ways, it's about faster delivery, and this discussion is really intended to share some of what we've learned at GitLab about how we deliver code at digital speed. So I'm Traci Robinson. I'm with GitLab, and I'm a technology go-to-market strategist, meaning that I bring people, ideas, and resources together to create, develop, and take to market innovative technology solutions. And I want to share a little bit today about how your organization's cultural transformation is directly tied to your digital transformation. I'll show you how GitLab has used a DevOps culture to not only accelerate digital transformation for our customers, but to also consistently deliver major releases every single month for more than 110 consecutive releases. That's as of last month. But first, let's define what we mean when we talk about digital transformation. Now, in the world pre-COVID, if I was going to speak with you today in a live venue, I would have taken an Uber to the airport, boarded a flight using my airline ticket on my phone, avoided the annoying wait at the hotel check-in by unlocking my room with my mobile room key, and probably in between, transferred some money to one of my kids using a banking app. Now, this a few years ago, this would have been just a dream. But now this is all standard technology and the customer experience that we all expect. So to talk about digital transformation, let's go with the definition that it's about running your business faster so that you can leverage digital technology strategically. In short, it's really about business transformation. So what does that mean to today's organizations, to you? It means that you have to do things differently in a strategically fresh, new way to get better, faster results. Every single industry is being disrupted: banking, hospitality, transportation, publishing, retail, everything. And if you don't change, if you don't transform your organization, you're going to fail to meet your customers' expectations and you're going to be left behind. But you probably already know that, right? So the question is not if, but how. How do you start that digital transformation and how do you do it successfully? There's no denying that digital transformation is hard. And if it weren't hard, everyone would have done it already and we would be having a very different conversation. But here's why it's hard. Digital transformation requires by its very nature velocity. And in order to go faster, you have to do things differently. You have to become agile, which in turn requires you to do things in small iterations. And that requires disrupting yourself, maybe even cannibalizing your existing business before you can disrupt the market. Now, in order to compete, you need velocity of change, and going faster is harder. Each iteration gives you an opportunity to deliver real value to your customers. But if you're off track, you can learn about it before you invest significant investments and that take you down the wrong path. So you can end up delivering something completely different than what your market needs if you're not able to iterate. Competitiveness then depends on how fast teams can deliver the code, which is to say how quickly you can create customer value. So understand this, your core problem is speed. You must absolutely increase your ability to iterate and deliver faster to stay relevant. Now, GitLab knows a lot about how hard this is, but also what the culture and results can be like when you've gone through the transformation it takes to be agile and deliver at speed, and to build upon that speed to delivery where you become faster and faster and can deliver more and more value. Here's an example of how we've been pushing on the accelerator, so to speak. Our website and handbook, aboutgitlab.com, is a massive body of knowledge. It's our standard operating procedure manual. It's how we run our fast-growing business. We're now averaging 4,500 deploys per day. Now, for perspective, a year ago in late November, we were at about 300 deploys per day. Now, just think about that. That's a 1,400% increase in deploys in only 1 year's time. As for our software product, GitLab, we ship a major release every single month for more than 9 years. Every month, a non-trivial new release on the 22nd of every month. So for context, just for the rest of our conversation, I want to tell you a little bit about who we are so you can see how we got to this point. We're a 6-year-old company with nearly 1,300 employees working 100% across 69 countries. So collaboration is really key for us. We have millions of users in more than 100,000 organizations around the world, and our open source model enables us to leverage contributions from more than 2,500 code contributors for an exponential rate of product improvement. Forrester's named us #1 in the CI tools wave and a leader in cloud native CI tools. Now, you might be thinking, that's great for GitLab, but I have all of these challenges. You see, I've got distributed, disparate teams. I got people working on a variety of different tools with different processes, got unbreakable silos of people and information that just don't talk to one another. No one communicates. Our budget's insufficient. We don't have enough staff. We don't have skills. For those that we do have, they're lacking. So we're stuck on legacy systems, and our culture isn't up to handle big changes. Okay, so how do you want me to solve all of this? It seems impossible. How do you overcome that? You're thinking, well, maybe technology is the answer. If I just buy the right tools, I can make all of this go away. Now, I realize I'm with a technology company, but I'm going to be honest and tell you, it doesn't start with technology. It starts with cultural leadership. Technology is not the first step. It comes after the leadership creates a DevOps cultural shift. You simply can't throw a tool or multiple tools at the problem and then hope that it's going to be solved. There's no magic technology that you can buy to unlock speed. The keys to accelerating delivery are in the people and the processes, and then in the products. So what happens then when organizations put technology first without addressing the needed cultural changes? Lots of organizations have learned the hard way after sinking a lot of money and time and effort into their dysfunction that the end result was simply more dysfunction. They still had the same problems, and the people were even more entrenched in the cultural obstacles that were creating the problems in the first place. So Lou Gerstner, who was IBM's CEO through a lot of change, said, culture isn't just one aspect of the game, it is the game. And in a 2018 analyst report, Gartner said, purchasing tools is not a substitute for adopting the practices they facilitate. So in other words, technology is the enabler. It's not the silver bullet. Culture first, technology second. Culture is the foundation of your digital transformation. And, let's talk a little bit about the people in the process part about that, okay? So from the very beginning, GitLab's founders have believed that actions speak louder than words. They've instilled a set of values and behaviors inspired by DevOps practices that drive how we function every single day. These traits are the key to why we are so successful and how we can help our customers to be successful as well. So for example, let's take collaboration. Collaboration is all about eliminating silos. Silos create islands of information, which are barriers to trust, and they create friction everywhere. So the first key to accelerating delivery is to reduce the impact of the silos and the handoffs. Now, I'm not suggesting that you have a 100% flat organization, but I am suggesting that you find ways to encourage and enable that collaboration everywhere with all your stakeholders. Collaboration enables concurrent DevOps, which makes it possible for product development, QA, security, operations teams, everybody to work at the same time instead of waiting for handoffs. And then teams can work concurrently and review changes together before pushing code to production. Empowered employees make quicker decisions, and when they're sufficiently informed, employees can communicate and impact things in real time or near real time. This keeps the execution process moving along and helps firms really change direction quickly. We also really believe in iterative chunks. I'm sure you've heard of minimal viable product that was made famous in the lean startup, but we think minimal viable product is too big. We even consider minimal viable feature to be too big. Think about how much you invest in designing, developing, testing, shipping an MVP or an MVF. Lots, right? So minimum viable changes is what we do. It's what we push out. We ask ourselves, what's the smallest change that we can do that's an improvement? Not saying incomplete, but minimum, but not saying it's untested, just minimum. An example is how we create a new web page here. We start with a title and a few bullet points, and then we publish it. It's live and it's public, and from there we make frequent improvements while getting the feedback from our stakeholders. The point is that we learn to iterate because 1, you get feedback, you learn faster. 2, you risk from any changes much, much smaller. And then 3, you can back out the change easier. And 4, you can learn and improve faster. So smaller equals agile, nimble, more responsive. And at GitLab, we've embraced the concept of smaller changes and a low level of shame to unlock velocity in what we do. We also automate everything, and we trust our pipelines. Faster delivery without regard to security or quality is simply reckless, and it's a just a recipe for disaster. But one of the core principles is in DevOps as a movement is the idea of automating the process of building, integrating, testing, deploying, and delivering your software. We see the pipeline as the path through which a code change is handled from idea to delivery. We trust that our automation pipelines will check the security, the quality, the compliance of all of the changes at each commit. So there's no waiting until the end of the pipeline to know if there are vulnerabilities. There are scans that happen automatically, and code that doesn't pass doesn't get merged. That means that the key is the developer gets rapid feedback about the issues that the developer itself has created, right, herself's created. That way they can fix the problems that instead of pushing that defective code forward. So we're striving to automate everything, and the pipeline is the key to unlocking the velocity without adding crazy risk. In the nutshell, you really have to automate everything and always improve. Kaizen is the concept of referring to business activities that continuously improve all the functions and involve everybody from the CEO down to the first line workers. It means change for the better. For example, we frequently host live public retrospectives of our monthly product releases, live ones, where we look at what worked and what, most importantly, what didn't work and what we can do better. We welcome input and contribution from the team and the wider community, and we continuously learn. We think that's a powerful driver. And we remember what we've learned through that handbook I talked about, which is a remarkable living document. It's over 8,000 pages. You did hear me correctly on that one, but it's not meant to be printed or consumed at one time. It's our single source of truth for everything that we need to run our individual and team parts of our business. Our manual where we share everything that we learn so that collectively we have that body of knowledge going forward, and we update that every day. We also believe firmly, because this is our mission, that everyone can contribute. Employees across departments, external contributors, customers, competitors, random strangers on the internet, everyone. GitLab believes in a world where everyone can contribute. When everyone can contribute, then consumers become contributors, and then we greatly increase the rate of our progress. Efficiency is also core to what we do. We care about the things that we're working on the right things, not doing more that's needed, not doing duplicative work. This enables us to achieve more progress, and our work is more fulfilling. We write down everything. We create simple, boring solutions to problems instead of complicated ones. We optimize solutions globally for the broader GitLab community. We're respectful of each other's time, and we spend money like it's our own. We're very frugal, and we accept mistakes. Our results-driven approach is about what we do when we promise to each other, what we promise to our customers, our users, our investors. We care about what team members achieve, the code that they ship, the users that they made happy, the team members that they helped. So like someone takes off the afternoon, they shouldn't feel like something is wrong, right? They don't have to defend themselves and how they spend their day. We trust our team members to do the right thing instead of having rigid rules. Our focus is on improving the results that customers achieve and their customers' experience. And that is way more important than a long list of other things that can get in the way of delivering on results. We've also embraced infrastructure as code. We've embraced containers as a way to streamline and accelerate development. So consider the issue of waiting for a test environment. At GitLab, we test every change in a review app, just for that change. Now, the developer, QA, and security can now evaluate the review app without waiting. So infrastructure as code, when implemented in containers and Kubernetes, makes it remarkably easy to deploy, manage, and scale your applications. Infrastructure as code makes it simpler to accelerate the delivery and avoid the common sources of friction, like waiting for environments or misconfigured systems or what have you, right? So transparency and direct communication is about striving to be open to as many things as possible. By making information public, we reduce the threshold to contribution and we make collaboration easier. Everything that we do is default public, including our issue trackers, our marketing, our infrastructure, our public repository of that handbook. Transparency creates the awareness for GitLab, and it allows us to recruit people that care about our values. It gets more and more and faster feedback from people outside the company, and it makes it easier to collaborate with them. It also is about sharing great software documentation, examples, lessons, processes that the whole community can benefit from in the spirit of open source, which we believe creates more value than it captures. Most things are public unless there's a reason not to be, and we We take above average measures to protect the data and material that should be confidential and should be protected. Now, diversity, inclusion, and belonging, that's a value that is fundamental to the success of GitLab, and it complements our other values, specifically collaboration, efficiency, and results. We strive to create a transparent environment where all team members around the globe feel that their voices are heard and welcome. And we aim to be a place where people can show up as their full selves every single day and contribute their best. There's empirical evidence that diversity in leadership supports innovation, promotes better decision-making, and improves financial results. GitLab believes that many perspectives that are coming together create a more innovative environment to work in with more satisfied teammates, and it leads to a better product and increased profitability. So these are our 10 DevOps culture traits that enable us to go faster. They enable us to rapidly respond to the market and define and develop and deliver new capabilities for our customers. But the good news is that they're not proprietary. They're the foundation anyone can adopt to transform their culture and accelerate digital transformation. So what should you take away from today? Culture first, technology second. Culture is the foundation of your transformation. Second, actions do speak louder than words. Cultural leadership is what will drive that transformation. And thirdly, you can adopt these 10 traits of a highly effective DevOps culture to start your cultural transformation right away. Now, obviously, there's still so much I couldn't show you today, but I do invite you to go to our website, aboutgitlab.com, to check out our handbook. You can also check out our remote playbook, learn about how we do the things that I've shared, because it's all out in the open. And speaking of transparency, it would be great. You can look at our product roadmap. You can learn where we're headed, and the whole transparency, collaboration thing, and open source. We invite you to provide your feedback and join us as partners in development. I also would love if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'd love to hear what you're thinking. So remember, everyone can contribute. Thank you.